the Whiskey Rebellion. What exactly brought that on? Was it truly about the tax, or was something deeper driving that resistance?
The trouble began with the excise tax on distilled spirits, part of Hamilton's plan to fund the federal government. In the eastern states, payment was inconvenient but manageable. In the western territories, it was different. Farmers there often turned their grain into whiskey because it was easier to transport and trade than raw crops. The tax hit them hardest. At first, the opposition was legal: petitions, public meetings, and letters of protest. But by 1793, resistance had turned violent. Revenue officers were threatened, some tarred and feathered. In several counties, courts refused to enforce the law. The movement began calling itself a whiskey army. It wasn't simply about taxation. It was about federal authority. The same men who had once defied the British government now questioned whether the new republic was any better. I watched the situation for months, hoping the state authorities could restore order. They tried conciliation, but it failed. By the summer of 1794, open defiance had spread. A group of rebels even talked of marching on Pittsburgh. I could not let that stand. If the government allowed armed resistance to succeed once, it would never enforce any law again. Under the Militia Act, I requested troops from several states: Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, and New Jersey. The response was overwhelming. Nearly 13,000 militiamen volunteered, more than had fought in many battles of the Revolution. I decided to accompany them part of the way west to show that the action came from civilian authority, not military ambition. When the rebels learned of the army's approach, their organization collapsed. Most fled before a shot was fired. A few were captured and later pardoned. The goal was never punishment, but principle, to demonstrate that the laws of the United States carried real weight. It was an unpleasant duty. No president likes to march troops against his own citizens, but necessary. Rebellion had to be answered by law, not indulgence. Once people saw that the government could act firmly, yet fairly, respect for it increased. The rebellion's failure, quiet as it was, strengthened the Constitution more than any victory in battle could have.